Hello, AI Wizard here. So today we're going to kind of explore what is MCP and what is A2A. I'm pretty sure you guys heard about these terms, so I'm going to give you a high-level overview of what are these terms and what do they mean. I'm not going to go into too much technical details. If you are interested in technical details and deep dive, just let me know down in the comments, alright? So we have MCP and A2A. So let's start with MCP. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and basically it's a standard, all right? Now, standard for what, you may ask? That's a good question. And here I'm going to draw something for you. So, traditional way to make AI, LLMs, to perform some actions for you right now, basically like this. So we would have some system, so some code, maybe, for example, like Google Calendar or Notion, those are the softwares built by developers, right? So we are going to define them as basically some code or system or software built by developers. So now we have this system, it's working, everything is fine. So we can imagine, for example, this is something like Notion, right? So no problems here, right? Now, how do we make AI to perform some actions for us? You would write, right now the current approach is basically using something called function calling, not the current approach, but basically the approach before MCP kind of. It's called function calling. So we have something like function call definition. And it's basically a description of what this software can do. So some of these pieces of logic that this code or software contains will be exposed to AI. And then we would basically have another layer, which is an actual AI, right, or LLM. So now the last layer would be, let's say UI, we can call it UI. So as a user, you would come in, for example, into some tool and you would basically see the UI. Now, for example, in the UI, you would have a chat, AI chat. So you have probably already seen it like in different tools like ChatGPT, for example, right? OpenAI ChatGPT. And you can just ask it to do something. Now, when you ask it to do something, what happens is your message is being sent to LLM. Now, LLM thinks a little bit, and then it checks, hey, what are the functions are available and what does the user want? So for example, if you are asking what's the current weather, maybe there is a function call definition called getWeather, which will then call this system to actually get the data about the current weather in your city, for example. So what will happen is that LLM will then call this function, and then it will basically call and run this software. All right. So this is very not detailed, high level overview. Okay. And now it will basically return the data back from here to here to here. And then you will see it as a chat reply. For example, if you are using AI through the chat, all right, it will give you the information about the weather. Basically, AI will learn, okay, what is the current weather in your city? And then it will construct the answer accordingly, depending on the context in your language or however you basically chat with AI. Now, there is a problem here. The problem is that the layer between AI and LLM is a little bit undefined. So the structure, the actual standard is not there. There are various competing ways, we could say, to expose your system, your software, your code to the AI. There are various different methods. Different developers are doing things differently. And therefore, we have a so-called MCP, which will define the actual standard on how do AI LLMs interact with the code base written by someone. it doesn't mean that you can like remove this part. You still need to have some software doing something. It's just that it's a standard, it's a protocol for AI to be able to interact with the code or the system. So for example, you have a Google, right? Whenever you ask AI to search on the web, it needs to go to Google and search for it, right? But how does AI access the Google? It still involves writing the code. It still involves Google or AI provider or someone to implement that layer between Google and AI. And that layer might be different. Like different developers will develop different layers, different kind of layers. So what MCP does, it provides a standardized structure. So everyone kind of codes the same way, the implementation of the layer between AI and Google in this case. All right. So that's what MCP is. So it's basically a user to AI to the software interaction kind of thing. All right. So yeah, now I will kind of like touch on the points on what's the difference between A2A and MCP in a little bit. So yeah, just bear with me. I hope you guys understand it. And again, if you need some clarifications, just leave a comment down below. Now, what is A2A? We already have an AI agent. So what is AI agent? In this scenario, we can call AI agent this part. So this part, basically, the AI agent would be this part. So the AI itself, so LLM model, all right, some sort of structure, a protocol that AI can use to interact with some system, some software, like Google browser search, right, your calendar, it can be anything, depending on developers, what they implement, can be different kinds of system. So this part would be AI agent. Now, A2A, what A2A allows. So let's say you have two different systems. So say you have AI agent 2, right? And let's just define the function. So this AI agent can search web, and say this AI agent can access your calendar. Let's say you're authenticated with Google, and now it can access your calendar. And by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned, but A2A means agent to agent protocol. Okay, so it's a standard, it's a protocol as well. So I'm going to explain how it works. All right. Now here, since we kind of already defined what is AI agent here, we can actually replicate this part. So we're just going to have a UI. All right. So this is your chat interface. Now, so in A2A kind of workflow, you would still have your chat layer. Let's say it can be any type of user interface, but the most common is chat. So I'm going to use that as an example. So let's say you come and chat. And for example, you are asking if you have any meetings falling into the public holiday in your calendar. Now, you are using a kind of, you basically want to have a certain plan for your week, for example, right? And at first, what will happen is there will be an AI agent that basically acts as your personal assistant. So it adjusts your schedule, it helps you to plan things. This personal assistant AI needs to also communicate with other AI agents, okay? So just to remind, AI agent would be the interaction between AI and some existing system called software, all right? Now, AI agent would have to interact with other AIs in this kind of system to perform a web search to find the public holidays. That's one. And then the second thing, it would have to ask another AI agent to access your calendar and give back the schedule and basically your meetings. So these AIs will be chatting with each other without you seeing, or maybe if the system allows, you will even be able to see how different AIs communicate with each other. But basically these AI, they need to communicate with each other in order to accomplish the goal of finding out if you have any meetings on falling into the public holiday. So what will happen here, in order for this AI agent to communicate with this AI agent or this AI agent, there needs to be a certain structured, standardized way of doing it. Otherwise, software developers, whenever they are coding their systems, they would implement things differently depending on how they want it. And that's bad for general progress, right? So it's good when there is some standard, when there is some protocol that everyone is aware about and everyone can adhere and follow that protocol whenever they implement their AI agents. So what will happen here, this AI agent will follow the protocol and interact with this AI agent. Again, they will just chat with each other. They will understand each other, basically using this structured way of communication. And not only that, what A2A also provides is basically will make this AI agent, we could say this AI agent is the main agent that interacts with you as a user. And then it basically needs to ask other smaller AI agents about web search results and calendar results, right? So when it does it, it needs to also determine, okay, which AI agent should I call now? So for example, if you just ask for the stock price of Tesla, it doesn't need to access your calendar. It just needs to do the web search. Hence, this protocol, it will let this main AI agent know what these AI agents are able to do. So this AI agent will be aware, okay, I can use AI agent 1 to do a web search, and I can use AI agent 2 to access the calendar. I probably don't need to access the calendar, so I'm just going to interact with AI agent 1. So it will accomplish the purpose of AI agent to know what other AI agents can do. And it will provide a structured, standardized way for them to communicate with each other. So basically, that's what A2A. Now, it's different from MCP because MCP is more about AI interacting with some system. But say you have this AI interaction with some system multiple times, which we defined as an AI agent. So that's where A2A comes, because different AI agents also need to communicate with each other, all right? So MCP is basically a way for AI to access the system. So for example, a way for AI to go and do a Google search so that we can have an AI agent that can do a web search. Or it's an AI that can go and access your Google Calendar so that we can have AI agent that can access to your calendar. But then that's what MCP defines. And when we want AI agents to communicate with each other, that's where A2A comes in. Both of these are protocols or standards, okay? Both of these are just a way for everyone who building this type of systems to follow the same standards so that whenever different systems interact with each other, it's all standardized, all right? So I hope that was clear. This is a very high overview of what is MCP and A2A. And if you are interested in more technical dive in, just let me know down in the comments. I will try to make a video for you, all right? And as usual, if you guys are interested in everything about AI, custom deployment, privacy, AI strategy for your company, for your professional use case, go to our profile on YouTube here, click on this URL and book a call with us. That's it. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.